Are we live?
It just said we're live.
Is this us live right now?
I'm gonna assume so, yes.
Wow!
Mm-hmm.
We've never been live before.
Hot dog.
Hot diggity. Hello!
Hi.
That's Allie. That's Carine. I'm Anahí. And this is Purl Perspectives. Yay! Also, this is Bilbo. He snores a lot, so if you hear weird sounds, it's not us.
No. It
It's
shouldn't
the dog.
be us. It hopefully won't be us.
But if it is,
We're
it's
all
also
human.
the dog.
Yeah.
If you hear something weird, no you don't.
No.
It's just the dog.
Just Big Bo.
Hello!
Welcome.
Oh, I see a wave.
There's a wave from Cameron. Honestly, there's already 3 more people watching this than we thought we would have.
We
Yeah,
fully
seriously.
anticipated 0 people.
Thank you
We
for
were
your support.
We were walking onto this thinking that we were going to be streaming to 0 people.
But we were setting realistic expectations for ourselves because this is brand new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants a little bit.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, let's break in the channel with no one watching.
And then
So-
here's 4 people. What are you doing?
Why?
It's Sunday.
It's actually nice outside.
No, it's not. It's -15.
Okay, but it's sunny. And there are people out there who like winter sports.
Yeah.
Yes, and the canal is open.
I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
some
So,
people like
really-
We're in
sports.
Ottawa, so if you're in Ottawa and you're not at the canal,
Ottawa, Canada, not Ottawa, Illinois.
we've
or
made
Ottawa,
that
New
mistake
York.
before.
Ottawa, Canada.
Ottawa, Canada.
Ontario.
Yeah. Y'all, that was so cute when, context setting. Ali, Carine, and I met through our knit night
Which Anahí set up in early 2019.
in early 2019. And then during the pandemic, we had to go online.
Mhm.
So we changed the settings of our meetup group, and we started meeting on Zoom. And so we opened it up to more people
Yep.
outside of the Ottawa region
Well,
because, of course...
Meetup opened it. We didn't
Yeah.
know it originally, but they kind of set the distance to like 300 miles.
Right.
So
I remember that.
And so it turns out if you put Ottawa in your range, it would suggest our group to you. And we started getting people from New York.
Because Ottawa,
Joining
New
ours-
York is closer to New York City than we are in Ottawa, Canada.
And so that was fun. I learned that there's another Ottawa.
3. I think there's like 3 in the States.
Yeah. Or 2, and then we're the
At
third?
least no, there's at least 2, if not 3. There might be an Ottawa County. Maybe the third one I'm thinking of is Ottawa County.
So this is why I said we need a fact checker in the
Yeah.
corner.
If you don't have anything to do on Sundays from 2 to 3 p.m. and
Every
you want to be a
second
fact
Sunday.
checker,
Every
We just
second
want to be our
Sunday,
fact checker, so
Yeah.
we don't say something stupid.
we're gonna say something stupid.
Yeah, we
That's
are.
a given.
Yeah.
We're
That's
gonna
a
say
given.
some stupid shit.
should we then, on that note, kind of set the scene on what you can expect from this stream? Number 1, you're gonna hear us say some stupid stuff.
Yes. 100%.
That's the one promise we can make.
I have already mislabeled the podcast multiple times by calling it Purl Perspectives,
Which is not a bad name.
which
It's
is
not
honestly
bad.
not a bad
It's like the
slogan.
nickname, you know?
But there's going to be other flubs. We're also
Yeah.
fallible humans who we like to make stupid jokes. A lot of dad jokes fly when we're together.
you know, sometimes...
We should unpack that sometime.
Do we really want to though?
Let's not.
Maybe not on the internet. Come to midnight. You'll hear it then.
Oh man, yeah. So we're gonna be talking mostly about knitting, but also just about our lives. We're friends IRL,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
usually interact around some sort of fiber art.
Yes.
Or groceries. We do have a tendency to go run our groceries together.
because it's more fun. Groceries are not fun.
It's
so
a
if you-
chore, but then when
can be
it's
fun.
with people, it's an adventure. you
Chores
know?
with friends.
It's
Chores
chore
with
with friends.
Chores with friends. So yeah, we're talking about knitting. We're talking about life. We're talking about friendship, and that usually gets really rowdy in this
Yeah.
group.
Can be.
So
Can
yeah.
be. We're gonna try
Word
to
of
keep
caution.
it.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to keep it PG.
Yep.
No promises.
I mean, clothes will not be coming off, so at least we can guarantee that.
Yeah, everybody, lower your expectations. There's not gonna be any nudity. So if you were here for feet
For
pics,
that, you're in the
Yep.
wrong
you're
place,
in the wrong
my friend.
place.
Yep.
Yeah. What else should they expect from this?
That's
I
a good
mean-
question.
I think what they should expect is this is kind of like, if you know us from Knit Night, this is kind of an extension of Knit Night.
Yeah,
so
I like that,
You're a bit. It's kind of like having a window into what it's like to be with us, I guess, but also, you know, like outside of Knit Night. But it's still the same context as Knit Night. So if you've been to Knit Night, you already have a pretty good idea of where this is headed or what's going to be happening.
And if you want to come to Knit Night, maybe watch an episode or two first before you make your decision.
Yes, that's actually a great idea.
Because this is the vibe.
This is the vibe.
Most of the time at midnight as well.
Yeah, and
we have seen a parade of people come in and out of midnight quietly,
which is fine.
we get it. We're not for everyone.
But we also have a pretty sizable group.
Yeah,
we
that
do,
meets
actually.
on Thursday nights in downtown. Well, we float around, but mostly downtown Ottawa. And as such, that can be pretty overwhelming for some people. Some people are more introverted than others, and maybe a group of 20 plus people that they don't necessarily know in a small coffee shop is not to their liking, which is totally fair. Totally fine.
And to be fair, this is a great way for you to still get that Knit Night feeling,
hopefully,
without having to be in a large group, right? So you get to, you know, if you don't have anything to do on a Sunday afternoon and you want to spend time with us,
you can hang out.
You know, you can hang out with us.
Second Sunday.
Okay, every second Sunday. And you get to hang out with us, and you know, like, so there's no
pressure.
No pressure for you to go out or anything. You can stay in your PJs. No judgment from me, because I would be in my PJs if I could.
Hold on. Matea says there's an Ottawa in Illinois and an Ottawa in Kansas.
Okay, thank you, Matea.
There are two. Thank you.
She's the real MVP. Matea is someone I went to undergrad with and is so quick off the jump with facts. Incredible.
Fact checker.
Yes, we're looking for.
Coming to us from Belgium, I believe.
Ooh la la. What time is it in Belgium?
Late.
Like 6 hours more, no? 7?
I don't know.
I thought it was 8.
That's not late.
Well,
no, I mean like 8 hours later.
Like 10 p.m.
So it'd be like
it's a Sunday evening.
Yeah, so
Sunday evening.
Either way, thank you for being there.
And Gerbos has nice sweaters.
Oh, thanks, Gerbo.
Thank
On
you.
that note,
yes,
I would like to
great
start.
segue. What are you wearing?
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wearing the Ranunculus. I have 2 versions of the Ranunculus. This is my warm winter version, which is made with 1 strand of merino wool and 1 strand of mohair held together. It's full length, and I love it. It's not itchy. It's very baggy and boxy, and
That's by Midori Hirose.
Midori Hirose, I think, is the name of the person, and the brand is Knit Cafe Midori.
There we go.
Yeah. It's not a free pattern, but so many people have made the Ranunculus.
Almost 10,000 pattern projects on Ravelry.
Yeah. If you haven't made one, I highly
many.
recommend it. The lace part is super, super enjoyable to make. It works up really quickly because it's 7mm circular needle, so you just like fly through it.
Is it a round yoke or is it a raglan yoke?
It is both.
Is it both?
It's both.
Oh,
Okay,
I didn't
here's
know
the
that.
thing though. I don't know if you can tell, but up to here, like you started at the neck,
Right.
and then all of the laces work in the round.
Right.
It's a round yoke.
Which would be even increases every like 4 or 5 stitches all
Exactly.
the way
But like, I don't know if you can tell, like there's a seam
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yeah, I can
As
see that.
soon as the lace stops,
Yeah.
you start making raglan increases
Okay.
to then set up for the sleeves. Then you split for sleeves and you work it as a regular raglan.
And a raglan increase means that you're only increasing at 4 specific points to create the armholes. So that's the difference. A round yoke is regular increases all the way around. It's even.
Yeah.
Raglan, 4 specific points. So if you hear us saying round yoke or raglan, that's what we mean. It's just how you build the sweater shape.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's super cozy. I've been wearing it a lot this year.
And it's beautiful.
It's
Thank
the perfect
you.
color for you, really.
Thank you. And I'm drinking a Golden Rush.
Which is?
Okay, I actually don't know.
Is it tea?
It's
is it
a
brandy?
powder.
Is it...
It's like a turmeric powder tea situation infusion with like cinnamon and clove. We were at one of those like artisan markets a few months ago.
Right.
And it was just a stand of a nice man that was selling multiple like hot drink mixes that they make. And I bought this one. It's called the Golden Rush. And it's really nice. It's very
so
enjoyable.
vibrantly yellow.
Yeah, I'm actually worried that it's too yellow. Like maybe I'm gonna stain something. So
Or you didn't put enough, like you put too much powder and not enough liquid, maybe?
I don't know. It tastes delicious. So
Okay,
I'm
that's
okay with
really
the
what
intensity.
matters. Just don't stick a wooden spoon in there, because those things, they never turn back. Like, they're forever yellow after you cook with turmeric.
Okay, Allie with the light, the life hacks.
That's true.
I come from a very large Indian family, and the number of, like, stained wooden spoons in our households is many.
Are they all yellow?
No. I mean, we cook with more
Some
than
of them are red.
Some of them are red, some of them are green. Like, we cook with more than just turmeric, but, yeah. Also, boil your wooden spoons a couple times a year, folks.
Yo, I did that. It was disgusting.
Isn't it gross?
It was gross.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Speaking of not gross, Carine, what are you wearing?
Oh, yes.
So this is the Dirty Caramel Sweater by Kika. I think her full name is, or the full brand is Kutovakika.
Veronica Lindbergh.
Yes, Veronica. So I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. I love her patterns. This is my first time doing color work.
That was your first time?
That's a
Well,
lie.
no, that was
can't
my
be.
second time. That was my second time. The first time was
It's
actually
so perfect.
That's your second color
yeah.
work
It is
ever?
Well,
So-
it's my first sweater color work,
Okay.
but it was my second time doing color work. I did these little like cup cozies years ago that were like gifts for everybody, and those were I told you, man.
Showing off.
I don't-
Her first sweater was an all-over cable sweater. Like,
I don't
in
like
the dark
to
blue
dabble.
yarn.
And forever was she known as a cable queen.
Still on Discord.
I'm not. I don't go in the shallow waters. Just throw me in.
I think what
water.
you mean is you have no chill.
No, zero chill.
I have to
chill.
be interested in the project to do it. Otherwise,
You are.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, this is and this is essentially in merino with mohair.
Held together?
Yeah,
Oh,
held together.
twins!
Yeah, twinsies.
Yay!
It's super warm, so it's definitely made for this type of weather.
Yeah.
Minus 20 degrees Celsius.
And that's actually something, like, I walk to work every day, and for the longest time, I would tell myself, I can't wear these sweaters because I get sweaty no matter how cold it is outside, and I don't want to ruin these. And then I figured it out this year. I just wear this old sweater, like, that's not even wool, like, just a normal sweater to get to work, and then I have this guy, or any of my beautiful knitted sweaters in my bag, and then when I get to work, then I switch it up. And I'm like, oh, now that's so much better. It's a shame that it took me like 3 years to figure it out, but
But I thought merino, like wool in general, was supposed to be temperature regulating.
It is.
it is. But when you are wearing a very warm winter coat on top, and that you essentially walk as fast as I do for about 30 minutes, it's a workout.
And so the winter coat is not wool, so like you have that plastic
So
overlayer.
it's almost like you're wrapping yourself in a bubble of heat.
Because what happens is wool is thermoregulating because it traps air within the fibers, right? So if the air outside of you is cold and the air inside is warm, what's closer to the skin is going to stay warm, right? Because it's like trapping the air from your body. However, if the inside and the outside of the layer of wool is warm, the jacket and the body, then it's just going to doubly warm up. And that's why wearing a wool sweater under a down coat can be really uncomfortable.
Have you ever tried to wear a wool sweater as an outer layer?
You mean
Like no parka, just a sweater?
no.
Not in deep winter.
Not in deep
but
winter.
I do it regularly in the fall and in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
Yeah.
I've come into this like rhythm of every time I'm going out, I put on a jacket, whatever jacket's at the closet in the entryway. But that usually means that I can't wear my handmade sweaters when it's not cold enough.
Yeah.
Because then it's way too hot. So where's the balance?
I will wear it like a thin t-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Like if I'm wearing, so I have a couple of love notes that I've knit that I wear to work regularly, and the way I get around it is I'll wear like a lighter tank top underneath, so that's just protecting the wool from my skin, but the wool is technically my clothing layer, if that makes sense. Like I'm not doubling up. I'm not using it as a sweater.
Yeah.
I'm using it more as a top.
Okay.
Okay. See, for me, it's usually I just wear a little tank top under, and it's mostly to protect my skin against some of the more like scratchy yarn that I have.
Are you sensitive to wool?
A little bit, like not as much. Honestly, I feel like this is the story of my life when it comes to any type of allergies that I have. Is I expose myself so much to it that my body's like, I guess we have to live with this. So when I first started,
So you just bullied yourself.
I bullied myself. So when I first started knitting, I was very much like any yarn would scratch me or feel like, and then I realized there were some type of wool that was a little, like worse than others, like or rather better than others. So alpaca, for example, like my skin reacts much less to alpaca than any other so far.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think my skin just gave up. So my arms don't care anymore. But the stomach area is always a bit more sensitive to begin with. So just as a precaution, I always wear a little extra.
Yeah.
Like one of those like tank tops, just in case. Like not every sweater needs it, but some of them do, especially when there's mohair.
So, first of all, Alex is asking if we're considering releasing VODs to be able to listen to after the fact. Our understanding is that
will happen.
That we'll be able to upload this immediately after the stream is done.
Yes.
We hope.
We're leaning into the Grocery Girls style of podcasting, and we hope that works out. Shout out.
Hi, Grocery Girls.
Also,
we love you.
They're the real MVPs.
Yes.
Matea is saying, I have a feeling if you made an outer layer out of Léttlopi or any Icelandic yarn, it could maybe keep you warm even in Canadian temperatures. 1000%.
Yes.
Because you know what I've been
1000%.
seeing? I've been seeing engineering knits on YouTube, sort of studying ski sweaters from the 1940s.
Oh.
And those were meant to be worn on the ski slopes as outerwear.
Yeah.
So my question then is were people wearing like another overcoat on top of that to go skiing? And if that is true, then could we not wear colorwork sweaters or ski sweaters as outerwear?
That's
here?
the thing. Well, that's why
it depends what you're wearing underneath.
That's why colorwork sweaters are so warm, is because you have essentially 2 layers of wool.
Yes.
Where you're stranding it.
Yeah.
So no surprise that you're super warm in this one, because you have so many different strands of yarn from the whole top as opposed to just like a ring of it around the yoke.
You know what? We're just gonna have to go to Iceland and figure it out.
Oh no!
At the source.
Oh God, such a chore
no.
to go to Iceland. Jeez. Sign me up any day.
I actually do want to go though. We're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
I've already started putting like pennies aside in preparation.
Yes.
And I've been collecting reward points so that I can hopefully buy an airline ticket that way. I've been thinking about this for a while.
So, what are you wearing?
Oh, what am I wearing? Wow. There's just so many colors that you probably can't even see. So I'm wearing the Vellichor tee.
6 colors.
6. Is that including the yellow?
Oh no, 7 colors.
7 colors.
Jeez.
Plus the main color, 8.
Look at you go.
So I'm wearing the Vellichor tee by Andrea Mowry.
Love it.
Who I think her shop is Drea Renee Knits.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Drea Renee Knits.
Yes, it is.
This is, I found out recently, this is the only short sleeve t-shirt pattern that she's released, which I didn't know when we started it. But apparently it is the only one that she's done.
It's really nice.
Which is pretty cool. So, the pattern is knit from the bottom up, and then you separate from the sleeves for the front and the back, which was an absolute trial. But we started it last June.
Oh, this is our make along project.
So we have a very informal make along happening in our Knit Night group right now, like a year-long make along for this tee. We started it last June because several of us went to Knit City Montreal in May, which is like a big yarn festival. And we saw one on display in the Alley Cat Yarns booth.
It was so beautiful.
And then everybody just like...
Hi, Melissa.
We just all were like lost. We just lost it. And everybody went like in different directions searching for yarn.
Yep.
So I found all of this yarn at Knit City. The oatmeal color, the main color, is from Leo and Roxy yarns. It's one of their basics collection.
Is that the undyed?
No, it's oatmeal. That's the name of the color,
okay.
oatmeal.
I love it. It looks
But
really
it's their like
natural.
basic sock, like the one that's just great. Love that so much. Kettle dyed. And then the colors was a mini skein set that I got from Fireweed Fiber Co. in, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like Winter Sunset or something was the name of the set. And I added in one extra color, also from Fireweed, because I was worried I wouldn't have enough yardage. And I was right.
It matches really, really nicely with the rest of
I'm
it.
glad I got it.
It's so nice.
And then also I ended up having to pull scrap yarn out for the last 3 at the top because I also ran out of yarn there. So
Because you added a little extra length, right?
I added a lot of length. The pattern is pretty cropped. I think it calls for like I want to say like 8 inches from the before you split for the sleeves, so it comes up to like kind of belly button length. But I wanted something a little bit more. 12
inches.
Either way, I wanted something closer to a tunic length.
Okay.
So I added in, I don't even know how many extra inches. I have it on.
Did you kind of just hold it against your body?
What I did was I have some other sweaters that fit the same way with a drop shoulder.
Got it.
I just measured from the bottom of the armpit to the bottom of those sweaters.
Okay.
And then took an average. And was like, oh, they're between 12 and 15. Okay, well, I'll knit to 4. Like that kind of thing. And then I also wanted to maximize the yardage for each mini skein. So the pattern calls for, I think it's 5 rows. And then like contrast color 2, 1 row of that. And then 5 rows and whatever, but I wanted to maximize it, so I did 9. All of this stuff.
So what
is
you're
on
saying
mine.
is you made a completely different pattern.
Well, like, no, the structure is identical to the pattern. I just put some length in it and changed up how I did the stripes.
Gotcha.
That's all.
So she put her own spin too.
I did.
I love that.
But I mod the vast majority of what I knit, especially when it comes to garments, because I am a person with a very pear-shaped body. Like, between my waist and my hip, there is a 9-inch difference.
Ooh.
Which is
Hot.
the definition of a triangle. And as such, when you look at the vast majority of knitting patterns that are out there for garments, you knit the body as a tube. Which, if I'm not knitting it cropped, that does not work for
Yeah, because
my
it doesn't
body
go
shape.
past your hips.
Exactly. Like, and if it does, it rides up and it's really awkward and it's not comfortable to wear. Or it's like really loose around the chest, but then it's like super tight around the belly, and like that doesn't work. So I mod all of my patterns.
I don't know how possible it would be. Like, I've never designed in my life. That's like the Everest of goals.
You'll get there, I believe.
Yeah, one day.
I
But I don't know how feasible it would be to literally create a pattern that would be modifiable based on body shape. That you could, like, as a designer, you could, like, create the pattern, but
There are.
modifying it as, you know, depending on what body shape you have.
But there are
Well, there are some.
Well, yeah, but like, yeah, okay.
So here's an example. There's this designer that I follow on Patreon. Her name's Sydney. Boy, I forgot her name.
Squidney Knits is her
Yeah, the Patreon and her brand is Squidney Knits. Beautiful. She makes like modern reinterpretations of vintage knitting patterns. And so what she does is she will, instead of giving you the stitch counts and the row counts, she'll have you measure yourself and plop that into a calculation
okay,
page,
yeah.
right? And so then you're like giving yourself like the bust measurement, the waist measurement, your hip measurement, your bicep measurement, your neck, etc. And so then that you plug yourself by hand onto the instructions of the pattern.
Okay.
So you end up with a form-fitting top. They mostly make tops. I think maybe one jacket, some accessories.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I think could fit the bill in terms of like getting as close as possible to modifying. Because it's not really modifying. The pattern didn't have any stitch counts to begin with.
Yeah.
So you're just plugging in your own measurements and making something bespoke, which I really, really like. Swanky Emu Knits does the same. But she gives you an Excel spreadsheet, so you don't have to do the math.
Oh,
you just plug in your measurements and your gauge.
That's amazing.
I love me a spreadsheet.
Sarah,
yes.
Sarah has mentioned Lydia Morrow makes some cool patterns that include options for additional bust and waist shaping.
Ooh, I
And
don't know
Malia
Lydia Morrow.
Lees has also said Amy Sure patterns have lots of modification options as well.
Okay.
So
Amy Sure. Oh yeah.
all Amy Sure. You made one of her patterns. The oolong tank is an Amy Sure.
Yeah, that's literally the last one I just finished. It's
and
so
it
good.
looks beautiful.
Thank you, Sarah and
so
Malia
good.
Lees.
Thank you. Yeah, I know that Jacqueline Cieslak, for example, she offers a lot of modification techniques in her own pattern.
I think she has a class as well.
Does she?
I think she does have a class that she teaches online that's all about like getting the best sweater fit for your body.
Because what I learned from her was making like working darts, like in the bottom and on the side to accommodate for bust increases or decreases. So like if for example, I have a very small difference between upper bust and full bust.
Right.
Like an inch or so. It's something like ridiculous. So like anytime there's shaping for bust or shaping for waist, it ends up looking a little baggy on me because the difference is just not
Yeah.
there. And so with that bust-start accommodation from Jacqueline C's, like it's really easy to calculate how much to reduce or how much to not reduce to make it
That
fit your
makes a
body
lot of
better.
sense.
Yeah.
Because no one's boobies are the same.
Nope. No bodies are the same either.
Yeah,
Yep.
some people don't even have boobies.
Honestly, overrated.
Honestly, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
We could do it. I was gonna say we could do without them.
That's
but
a
no,
tangent we
can't.
could go down.
No.
But we probably shouldn't do that on the internet. But that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Should we swing back around to what you're working on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
There's Bilbo.
It is currently 2:26.
There's Bilbo right there.
Bilbo
So-
is
It is
a
best
wonderful.
I just want everyone to know that before we started, we were very worried that we were not going to have enough things to say in an hour.
Which, honestly, never. Honestly,
I mean,
never.
yeah, we
Just
should
have a
have
picture
just
of my
known.
dog.
It's
I
like,
did, and I'm 1,000% gonna put it on the Instagram right now on the
He's our
stories.
mascot. Look at him hanging out.
so
So
sweet.
sweet.
He
Hold
looks
on.
like he's living his best life. Like,
He is. I want to be Bilbo when I die and come back.
oh my god,
Yeah.
Look at him.
100%, 100%.
He's
Like,
just unbothered in his lane, moisturized. Literally, I moisturize him because he has skin allergies.
oh,
Oh, my baby boy.
the little tongue sticking out.
I know.
Where's the heart eye emoji? There it is. Okay.
Are the toe beans on camera? No, they're not on
Oh,
camera.
look at that.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh my
buddy.
All
So,
right, it is.
what are you working on, Anahí?
I don't want to say because Gerbo's watching,
Are
Oh.
those?
and it's for him.
Toby
Okay,
pics.
well then,
No, but I will say.
Gerbo.
No, I will
Gerbo,
say-
turn away.
No, you already know, honey. It's for you. Jean-Phillipe Cliche from Atelier Cliche
Love him.
recently released this pattern. It's called the Skog Hat, and I've just been on an Atelier Cliche kind of mood lately. I've been making a ton
So
of his
cozy.
patterns. I made the Maggie Dickey, love it. I've been wearing it a lot. I've tested some of his patterns before. Love the way he designs, super classic. And this is going to be a woolly hat with a bouclette edge.
Ooh.
Like
It looks so good already.
So like you knit the bouclette front flap and back flap separately, and then you join in the round to give it a little bit of length on the edge, and then you start with a bulky yarn on the top, which by the way is the bulky yarn that we found at the thrift store.
Oh, is it?
And bought on an impulse, and then you gave it to me because it turns out we were never gonna use
Yeah.
bulky
Yes,
yarn.
I remember
Yo,
that.
okay,
I remember that.
tiny baby segue. We were at the thrift shop. We were just cheesing, wasting some time because it was cold outside, and we just walked in. We're hanging out, and I think you were trying on jeans or something.
Yeah, and then we saw
And
this,
then we
like,
just see this employee go past with this cart of new things that are going
and
to
there's
go out.
so much yarn
There's
on top.
a huge box of yarn, and so immediately the two of us
We just
jump up and we just started like following her.
Beeline for the yarn.
When she
And
stopped
it's
to start
good
putting
yarn.
She walked away for 2 seconds, and then she comes
we
back,
came
and we
back
already
and
had like all the yarn in our.
And so we went
She's
through,
just like, okay.
and there was the, what was it, like two
This
or three
is
skeins?
Lopi.
There was Léttlopi. There was a couple skeins of Léttlopi, and then there was a skein of like pure Shetland wool 2-ply.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I was like, we can't leave this here, so I bought it all. And then
We
It
we
was
needed
to give
$7
that
a
yarn.
skein.
It was we needed to give it a
Bananas.
good home. Like, come on, guys.
bananas.
So it's me. I'm the home.
yes.
And so it's now turning into a Skog hat for my sweetie. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm actually really loving it. It looked a lot more complicated in the pictures.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Jean-Philippe's pattern always give me this like initial anxiety of like, oh no, that's too complicated. I could never. And then you actually start and you're like, oh, it ain't nothing. I definitely got this. Yeah, so I'm excited to finish this. I don't know, honey. I don't think it's gonna be ready for your birthday, which is in 2 days. So.
Oh, happy early birthday, Gerbo.
Yeah,
He's
happy
the tech
birthday.
support here. He and Anahí are the ones who got us running. So like, shout out to Gerbo. He also
100%.
created this like super awesome graphic.
But don't let it go to your head.
No. We'll pay someone if we need to. That's not you. Don't worry. Love you though. You make good brisket.
You
Barbecue
make good
master.
brisket. You do.
Oh my
You
Okay, so over Christmas break, Anahí borrowed my apartment for a little bit of time when I was out of town.
Thanks again.
Anytime. They left me some brisket and a whole Christmas dinner, and I ate it last week, and oh my god, it was so good. Also, can I ask you about putting corn in macaroni and cheese? Because why?
Because, okay, there's actually...
I'm so confused. I was eating it.
Sorry.
I'm like, this is crunchy. Why is it crunchy? And it was because there was corn in the mac and cheese.
I don't know what happened. I was making a regular pot of mac and cheese, and we're gonna put it in the oven with like breadcrumbs on the top, and I just like had corn in the freezer, and I don't know what happened. I just like it was like
It wasn't planned?
no, it was
Okay,
like
that
an
makes way more
intrusive
sense.
thought that was like my like inner goblin was like put the corn in the bag, and I just
it was
didn't.
really good. I was just confused. Like,
Does that happen to you? Like, are
No.
you not cooking and your goblin goes like, put more?
No.
Well, maybe not. No, yeah, but it depends on the recipe. Like, I have this one recipe that's just like, I don't know what to call it. It
Yummy?
looks like a chili,
Yummy?
but it's not a chili. And it's one of those where it's whatever I have in the house, so I get a little bit of that, but so it changes every time, right? It's one of those recipes that never tastes the same because it's always whatever spice I want, whatever vegetables there. There's only like, even the protein changes.
Yeah.
So sometimes
It's like a fridge cleaner.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
and then
those.
That does
the
not sound appetizing.
They're so good though. Like, have you
No,
ever
but
made
it's-
fridge cleaner?
but it's always like
No,
there's
but it
the
sounds
same-
like you're eating Windex.
Yeah. But there's like the
It's like,
the,
okay, a clear
the
out
same-
meal. That's what
Okay,
it
a
is.
clear out, not
clear
a
out
fridge
meal.
cleaner.
there's the same basis, right?
gosh.
Like so, like there's like a protein of some kind, which is usually turkey, just because I like ground turkey, because it kind of like absorbs a lot of flavors. And then there's like just sometimes it's canned tomatoes, sometimes it's just tomatoes because I don't have canned tomatoes. Like, so it's whatever you want it to be. But then that goblin part would be whatever extra vegetable that I think doesn't work in there, but I'm like, ugh, and then I just
Put the corn in the pot.
For me, the closest thing would be put the avocado in the, because that's the one time.
Okay,
that
but
I was
actually it's delicious though. If you put it on
It
top
is.
after as a
It
garnish.
is.
I was gonna
But,
say,
like-
do not put avocado in a boiling pot.
no, I put it
After as a
afterwards. I put it
garnish.
afterwards. I was like, why not? Let's
Nobody
try
wants
it. And it was
awkwardly warm
so
avocado.
good.
No, that's gross.
That is
Yeah,
gross.
no, not when
No.
it's but yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes, I'm sorry I didn't give you a heads up. It was like an impulsive,
It was so funny.
spur of the moment, like
It was
intrusive thought.
fully delicious.
Put the corn in the mac and cheese.
Fully delicious.
Sometimes this is how we make culinary breakthroughs, okay?
Yeah.
By like
Well-
having the inner goblin in our heads going like, you do you. And then you
Yes.
come out and you're like, this is
Great.
amazing and I want to eat it for the rest of my life. That's how I realized.
Put corn in your mac and cheese.
I know someone in high school used to put. I know someone
Will
in high
someone
school.
stop getting another pot?
I know someone in high school who used to do this thing where they would put chips in their sandwiches.
No,
on
that's
every
British
delicious.
No, but I was
That is
like,
a
what?
British thing.
And it's so good. And now I'm like, well,
Yeah, you put crisps in your sandwiches.
why would you not do it? But like, if somebody hadn't done it in front of me, I would have never thought to do this.
That's fair.
Right? So sometimes you just
Fair.
need to, go for it.
Sarah likes my goblin voice.
Yeah.
It's a great goblin voice.
You're welcome. I'll be here all week.
This is her house, so
This
really
is my
she
house.
will be
She,
here
yeah,
all
she,
week.
she will.
I actually brought like 3 whips, but I don't know
Yeah.
how much you want to know.
Hard same. Should we go one at a time, maybe?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
let's do one at a time.
Okay, Carine, what are you working on?
I'm working on her sweater, the Vellichor. This
Yay.
is me knitting very slowly.
Well,
This
you put it down to think
particular,
of other
I
things.
yes,
Brilliant
I did. I knit like a
colors.
lot of things in between. So
I'm just looking at it on the
Oh,
screen.
it looks so much more blue on screen.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
but
right.
it's actually like a super
So the-
bright amethyst.
yeah,
purple.
the main color is the amethyst. Oh God, what's the
Les
name of
Belles
it?
Bouclettes.
No, the amethyst. Les Belles Bouclettes is the shout out to Les Belles
Yeah.
Bouclettes, by the way.
The fun- it's eggplant, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause I have
Bonjour
the same one.
Québec.
I think so. So there's bonjour tous les Québécois qui nous écoutent.
There's the purple. There's the purple by itself.
The amethyst is like, you know that, oh God, what's the brand that has all the yarn about the national parks of
Parks?
Canada?
Oh,
is it?
geez. Is it
Like, I
Northwood? No.
Bingle Bangle.
Bangle Bangle.
I'm trying not to swear on the internet.
I have the name, like I have the, in my head, I see
Aren't
the,
they? They're based out in the Maritimes, aren't they?
Nova Scotia. No.
Is
Yes.
it Fleece Artist?
Fleece artist, there we go.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun,
So
dun.
this is the main color,
Pipeline.
Fleece artist. and then the Les Belles Bouclettes is the two inside. This kind of like aqua-ish and this red. What is it like?
Like gold?
Goldish.
Oh,
color?
it's so cute.
It's
tiny. Is that all you have left?
so
Well, yeah,
soft.
because I'm.
Just
It's
a
only
mini
one.
skein.
I am stressed for you.
It's only one row.
Yeah, it doesn't
For-
take a lot of yarn.
Okay.
One row
So
does not
I should
take
be
a lot of
okay.
yarn.
No,
Like-
I should know. I'm also making the Vellichor.
So that is what I'm
very,
working
very
on.
Y'all gotta get on
slowly.
that. Y'all gotta
Yeah,
get on
seriously.
that.
I
I mean, I'm, this is, I know a lot of people said, oh, this is what was it, like a therapeutic or meditative pattern. And for me, I don't know what it is about it, but I don't, like, I need to be engaged in the pattern to,
It's not-
like, really
No,
want
that's,
to.
that's normal.
Is it
So,
not
like-
challenging enough?
I don't know if that's what it is. I enjoy knitting it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I think I enjoy knitting. That's why I enjoy knitting stuff like this or like the Arctic sweater because
Arctic lights.
Arctic like sweater because another one by Kika, by the way, because it's all about like really paying attention
Yeah.
to the pattern, and for me, like that's what makes me want to do it more is like just I need to, like the second I'm focused on it, then I'm like, okay, it's a go. Like I'm versus if it's meditative.
Do you
I tend
do
to,
other things while you're knitting?
Reading TV.
Depends. Usually
Okay.
it's either TV or an audiobook
Because
or podcast.
I find that, like, almost the opposite. If the pattern's too complicated, it's very unlikely that I'm gonna pick it up for a long time because I'm usually doing something else or watching something on
That's
TV.
true.
And I need something repetitive and predictable so that I don't have to be looking at the pattern all the time.
True.
And then I get frustrated.
Like I think I don't
But
know.
I totally get how, like, the
Well, I mean-
Vellichor specifically, the first couple of rows are like, oh my god, this is so complicated and new and it's fantastic.
Yes.
And then it
And then
turns
you
out
get
you have
into
to
a
do
rhythm.
the same thing 70,000 times
It's
again.
just 12 and a half, 13 inches of the same
But
thing.
then it's also so.
It gets old, is what
I'm also
saying.
a very strange person when I watch TV. My partner hates this, but I try not to do it when he's there. But I have this thing where I watch TV and then I have to pause it every like 5-10 minutes to focus on either even if it's the most simple knitting, or to go to the bathroom, or to play with the cats, or to like I can't just sit still and watch TV.
I love
like,
that.
That doesn't happen. That's
I
not
love
a thing.
that.
So like if I'm knitting, even if it's like the most complicated pattern, it doesn't matter because I'll be like putting it down for 5 minutes, watching whatever, and then at any point, if the TV, like the show is not interesting anymore, or I'm just like, then I go back to my knitting and I pause it, or maybe I don't pause it if it's not that interesting. But either way, I'm no longer paying attention, and then I'm paying attention solely on my. So it's that thing where because that's the way I like watch TV, which infuriates my partner sometimes. I'm
yeah,
sure.
well,
So I don't do it when he's there. But when he's not there, yeah, I do it all the time.
but you know, like, you're onto something there because actually multitasking is not that good for you, and it turns out our brains can't actually do it. Like,
Oh, really?
you can't
Yeah.
do two things at once.
Yeah.
You can do like a
You
couple
can
seconds
try.
of one and a couple seconds of another.
Oh, see, I have a very different experience of this.
Because
So-
like
between
we're not absorbing really the show that we're
Yeah.
watching when we're also knitting. At least not me.
It's one of the reasons why if you do like multitasking, you tend to not remember doing one of the two things as much as the
Yeah.
other.
Okay, well,
Right? Like you don't remember knitting as much, or you don't remember the
there
show
was
as much.
something about this, like, because they gave us at work this like resilience
Yeah.
course or whatever, and it said that actually multitasking is really detrimental to your mind, to your brain,
That's
because
so
you're not
interesting.
supposed to be switching from one activity to the other. But as a person that often gets under or overstimulated, I always need to have something on the background. I'm usually not paying attention
Mhm.
exactly, but I'm doing like a couple stitches, and then I, look up, and then stitches and look up, and stitches and look up.
Yep.
Oh.
So it's not really multitasking. It's one at a time, but a few seconds.
Yeah.
each.
So it's like a weird, like it's like, yeah, it's not multitasking. It's
Your
like
brains are so interesting.
like just.
What do
yeah.
you do?
Exactly what I'm doing now. I'm concentrating on having a conversation with you while my hands are knitting, and I'm not paying attention to my hands in any way, shape, or form.
You telling me that your hands are just doing this out
Yes.
of muscle memory?
Yes. But also, that has to do with the fact that, like, our brains are wired differently.
Yeah, that
that's
is very true.
So
Which is why we work.
Exactly.
Yes. We
So-
are very.
But that being said, I can knit while having a conversation because those are the two things that I'm doing. I'm not doing 3 or 4 things at a time. I'm not also, like, if I'm looking at my phone, then I'm not part of the conversation. Like, when I switch between those tasks, I'm fully investing my focus in one or the other. It's not, like, happening simultaneously in the background.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't know what the, like, psychology behind this is because I am not a medical doctor, but, like, I'm using one half of my brain to do the talking and the interacting, and I'm using the muscle part of my brain to do the knitting. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm engaging different parts of my brain at the same time.
And I feel like there's something a little bit true about that experience in my own, because I can do that at midnight.
Yeah.
When we're chatting. If I have, like, a stockinette in the round, or if I'm knitting on a sock or something like this pattern that's, like, 5 purl 5 knit all the way around, I find that I can do that if it's repetitive enough.
Yeah.
But if it's something more engaging, like texture or cables, no way. I'm either doing that or I'm listening to what you're saying.
Yeah. If I'm in at night, it's very specific patterns, like things that I don't have to, because the amount of times I've brought something that I thought, oh, I can do this, it's fine. And then I'm in the middle of the conversation, and then I get so involved in the conversation that I get back home and I'm like,
I have to rip this out.
What is this mess that I just created? And why did I do this?
It's a very familiar refrain at midnight for somebody to be like, why did I bring insert lace?
And it's almost like
cable pattern.
Like you don't even remember knitting it, right? So you get home and like, was I drunk?
What happened?
But I don't drink. This is not how is this possible?
Yeah, that happens a lot. Don't bring your lace projects to midnight.
Not unless you've already put in safety lines.
Yeah.
Put in them safety lines, folks.
Do y'all know how to do lifelines?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
They literally saved my life.
I have started doing them with the like the tubing.
Oh yeah.
You probably can't see this on the screen because we're far away. But with the like little knitting rescue cords, whatever they're called, the knitting barber cables, I put them in with that because then if I ever need to pick, what is Bilbo doing?
He threw up and then ate it again.
Oh God, Bilbo!
Bilbo, love.
Do we know? Do we love that?
Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
No.
I can't.
Bilbo, come
oh,
on.
No. I'm sorry, but this is like really real. It's okay.
She's just putting him away like.
No, I'm just gonna take this away. Don't do that anymore.
I can't.
That is hilarious.
So one of us clearly.
I can't. No, that's so gross.
I'm taking it away.
Oh, Bilbo, come on.
It's times like these where I'm like, I am kind of glad I'm not a pet owner.
And we love our dogs. I mean, I have cats, but I know what having a dog is. And
Do your cats not do that?
They don't eat it afterwards.
Can we not talk about that?
Okay,
I will be next.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
No.
So what we were saying before we were rudely interrupted by Bilbo
is lifelines.
Is lifelines. And I have been doing it with the tubes as well.
Mm-hmm.
When it's for putting things on hold, like sleeves or like the edging. But usually, I saw this tip from, what's her name? Gotham Knits.
Yes.
So
Great.
she has like a set of interchangeable needles that has like the little hole for you to put the
little screw. Yeah.
Is it a screw? It's like a little like stick that you put so that you can like tighten it a little better, like the tip of the needle. And so what she did is she put a strand of thin yarn through that little hole in her right hand needle, knit a whole row, and at the end of it had sort of like weaved itself in the stitches, so it was like an automatic lifeline.
Oh. And
then at the end of the row you just pull it out and you're good. So I think that's really smart. It only works if you have like thin enough stitches, because if it's like chunky yarn, it's not going to work out. But yeah. You okay, buddy?
You, sir.
It's all your fault, sir.
Aw, but he's handsome, so we forgive him.
So
You don't forgive him.
I can't.
Do you want to tell us what you're working on?
Traumatized.
Oh, I'm sorry,
no,
buddy.
It's okay. I'm just like super sensitive to like things like that because I don't know why, I just always have been. So I'm working on a pair of socks, which I'm going to try to do the thing where I get close to the camera. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so the camera's over there under Maurice.
Under Maurice, the emotional support frog, whom we love.
If
and
you
adore.
don't know Maurice, check my Instagram.
Wow.
He's very
Maurice
handsome.
is adorable. He's a handsome little frog.
So.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so there's a sock that I'm knitting on. Whee! Also, here's my Vellichor. So what I'm doing right now is a sock by Paula from Autumn Poppy Designs. It is called the Peachy Keen socks.
I love that name.
I know, isn't it great? It's got the like really softest, really simple lace section up here where it's blue, and then just a tiny little bit of color work at the toe. It's only a 6 row color work. So super simple, and it can be knitted if you're not into color work.
Is it stranded color work?
Yes.
Does it not like make it unstretchy?
It's a little less stretchy, but what she has you do in the pattern is, so you're knitting the sock on a 2.25 millimeter needle.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to a 2.75 for the color work here. But I'm knitting them on 9-inch circulars, and I am notoriously loose with color work because I'm normally a really tight knitter. So I overcompensate, and I draw, and I also, what's the term? I knit English style where I throw the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So I drop the one that I'm using for color work, so my knitting...
Are you twisting every stitch then? Every color change you're twisting?
No. No, I'm not.
Oh.
So, I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'm doing stranded color work, but just dropping the yarn instead of holding it in my hand. So it looks the
Okay.
same as stranded color work.
The floats are beautiful though, I have to say.
I knit
Yeah.
this at BTP last Thursday at midnight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd also had a couple of drinks, so maybe that's why it's not quite as tight.
A little looser.
As I normally knit. Maybe that's what I'll do when I get to the color work on the second side. We'll see. Have some mac and cheese and a couple of drinks.
With corn in it?
No.
Oh.
Pulled pork. Yo, yo, yo. That's gonna be a thing we joke about forever now.
Yep.
However, Bilbo, oh my gosh, I am using yarn from the Farmer's Daughter Fibres, who's based in Montana, because last year when I got my new job, as a like, congratulations, you did it, to myself, I invested in a year of socks.
You did do it.
I did. Holy crap, I
You did do it all by yourself.
But part of the reason why I wanted to invest in this year of sock sets from Candace, Farmer's Daughter Fibres, is because I am notorious for leaving my Christmas gift knitting until the very last minute. So I thought if I was getting 12 sock sets over the year, and like within the Farmer's Daughter Fibres Ravelry group, there's like a knit them when you get them kind of challenge going on. I thought maybe I could actually get some of my Christmas knitting started early.
In January.
In January.
I mean, you know,
Are you
better
knitting
late
any
than-
socks for yourself though this year?
These first ones
Those
are
are
for
for
me.
you.
These
Okay.
first ones are for me.
Because I was gonna say, like, I love that you knit for other people, but make
Yeah.
them for you.
No, these ones are for me because I was like, after knitting, I think I've knit something like 9 pairs of socks since the last pair of socks for me.
Dang.
And I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it till after Christmas, and then I was going through my project pages because I was looking for measurements for this one because I use like the same stitch counts and whatever for my feet all the time. And I was like, well, where are my numbers? And it was like July of 2022, the last time I made a pair of socks for myself. So I was like, okay, these ones will be for me. These ones will be for me. But I'm really happy with how they're turning out, and I'm like almost done the second one.
Socks are such a easy.
I love them.
Like they're such an easy gift to give, and they're. I feel like they're a really good first gift if you've never given something, like knitted something for someone, because they're not. It's not like they're super time consuming. But it's still a nice gesture. It's it's still a beautiful gift. So you get to like gauge, is this person knit worthy?
So you use them as a test.
A little bit, yeah.
What is the perfect reaction?
I mean, honestly, I don't I get it.
Holes in the socks.
Okay.
Holes in the socks. My sister is one of the most
yes.
knitworthy people in my life. Shout out to Meg.
Hi.
She's one of the most knitworthy people in my life, and there have been at least 2 or 3 pairs of socks where she's like, so I've worn them so much there's a hole in the bottom, can you fix them? And I'm like, yes, I will knit you 9 million more pairs. Okay, not 9 million, Megan, not 9 million. Let's get that on the
This
record.
is being
I
recorded.
heard you say it.
Metaphor.
There is now evidence of you
There is
saying
no
that.
video evidence.
But, like, I will knit her socks anytime she asks because she actually wears them. She wears them so much, she wears holes in them, which to me is, like, the greatest thing. Because I'm going to be knitting socks until, you know, I can't use my fingers anymore. So I have no problem with people wearing through them because that shows that they're being worn. Yeah. They're being loved. Whereas I have gifted socks in the past and the receivers have been like, oh my god, this is amazing, thank you. And then I've never seen them wear them. They've never mentioned them before or after that. And it's just like, are these sitting in your closet? Or are they sitting in a drawer? Like, I don't know.
I also don't, like, I only started knitting for other people, like, about a year or 2 years after I started knitting. Mostly because I didn't think I was good enough to knit for someone else. And then the first person I knit for was my mom. So clearly my mom was like, anything you make is amazing.
Aww,
which is adorable.
We love
but at
that.
the same time, it's like, no, it's not. There's a lot of problems with this thing. But I made her a love note. That was the
remember.
Yeah, the first thing I did was the love note. Although she says everything I do is, bye Bilbo, everything I do is amazing. But then she had no problem telling me, well, actually, the collar was a little, you know, like, tight. So I have to, but I love that because then, you know, I got
that is positive feedback.
But but I saw her wear it and she's talked about it, so I knit her a pair of socks. So like I've only knit for about 3-4 people so far, and only one of those I realized is probably not someone who would want. And look, there's nothing wrong with not wanting knitted things, but then I'm not gonna, don't ask me to knit something for you afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. So, but everybody else was super appreciative. Especially like my partner after I knit that huge ass cardigan that took me
bro, and he looks 5 years. Good in it.
He's
it was like how long did it take? A year. It took me a year to make that.
Like,
and he looks
like a year
so good
2
in
days.
it.
He's like what, 6'4" for context?
6'3", 6'4".
And it's like like
there's
wide
a big
shoulders.
And of course it's brioche. So of all the
all
things,
over one color brioche, and it's pieced. It's pieced.
I did not think this through. Okay,
no,
but this is what happens when you let
No,
non-knitters pick a pattern for you to knit.
Okay, I say
they don't know.
That's the thing, because he wanted to, like, what was it? So he wanted a specific cardigan that looked very similar to the Hobbs and Shaw. I think it's Shaw who wears the cardigan. I forgot.
Jason Statham.
Who wears the cardigan, and
Is
he really
Jason
liked
Statham?
it. Yeah,
okay.
He really liked that cardigan, which totally fair. I get it. So I tried to find a pattern that was, you know, similar to that, and I found the gentleman's cardigan is what it is, and it's a really well made cardigan. I can't stress enough how good it is and how but
you're gonna have to bring it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But it was a year of knitting brioche. And there's no way I can forget how to knit brioche now.
Oh.
And I remember you being so done with it.
Oh, so many times.
So early in the process.
I wanted to burn it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give it or burn it at the end.
No, but the number of times at knit night where she'd sit down at 6 o'clock, start knitting, and then at 7:45 before we pack up, she'd lay it out on the table to measure it, and she'd be like, "Ugh, I only knit an inch."
2 hours.
So
and
hours.
you know how many times I was like, I told him afterwards, I'm like, don't ever expect brioche again. It's never happening.
But
it's
we
stuck
didn't
in it
explain,
forever.
We didn't explain to him what brioche
He didn't know. So he's like, I don't care.
No
but
he
he does love it. He does wear it, and he does he does appreciate my hard work.
Warm.
So oh yeah, and you know, he could wear it outside in this temperature and he'd be fine.
Yeah.
To quote Marie-Elise, that is love.
Yes, it is.
Love.
See, this is how you beat the sweater curse. You knit a cardigan.
You sneaky.
Technically, it's not a sweater. That's whenever someone, aren't you afraid of the curse? I was like, it's not a sweater, it's a cardigan, okay?
Never. Not at all.
So, yeah, guys.
Speaking of sweaters, can I show you what I have in my bag down here?
Yes.
So following along in the vein of having gift knit and knit for other people for a long time, I haven't knit a garment for myself in a while. And I got...
Look at that color.
I know, right?
I'm obsessed.
I know. Eesh sneaky peeky. Eesh blue. That was my
And it's blue.
It
blue.
Is so blue. I'd probably gonna get blown
it's
out.
It's so fuzzy.
It's so Mohair all the way for everybody.
I want to squeeze it.
Something fell off.
Oh, she caught yarn.
Oh.
Oh, crap.
What is
that's
it?
Fine. It's just a stitch. It's the pendant on a stitch marker.
Let me squeeze it.
So, it's so big.
I love how we're all like
Look at
touchy
your
feeling
face.
it. Like this is okay.
It's
like
so
oh my god, it's
soft.
it's so
this
beautiful.
is the Paloma. Not that you can really tell from the way it's being, manipulated.
This is
right now.
twisted rib, yo.
Yeah, this is the Paloma sweater by Espace Tricot. It starts with a twisted
Love
rib
it.
turtleneck, and then there's like a bit of twisted rib that goes all the way down to the sleeve, and then the hems are in twisted rib as well. And I am like 25 rows away from starting the ribbing. Like I am getting close.
Did the pattern tell you to make the sleeves first?
No, I did that in a bid to not lose steam.
Okay,
You
because
know
I'm
what's
currently
smart?
on Sleeve Island for Jergo sweater.
So I've also
Again.
Sleeve Island. I love this.
But here's the thing.
And
I've
this
also
is
been-
genius.
I've
This
also
is
been
genius.
reading up about sweater
so
construction.
well done.
Thank you very much. I've also been reading up about sweater construction, and one of the main things that is repeated again and again and again in all the blog posts that I've come across is that the fit of the sweater changes when you have the sleeves on. So like when you knit the body and you try it on and you have a certain length, and you're like, okay, this is great, but then as soon as you knit on the sleeves and you wear it and you're like, this is a different length.
Because it pulls on like
Exactly.
the
So,
gusset.
it cinches
Yeah.
up the neckline, and then it also adds weight into the
Oh.
shoulders and into the garment, and it'll change the way the body of the sweater fits
I
on
had
you.
never considered
So,
that.
Because I am technically a scientist, I was like, I'm gonna try this.
No,
where
you're a scientist.
I am a scientist.
Yeah, don't say technically.
technically. Well, I mean, anyway.
She's a scientist for
Literally.
realsies. She's a
Anyway.
master's degree.
Anyway, what I wanted to do is I wanted to try knitting the sleeves first to see how that would affect the neckline. And because when I first tried it on, right when I split for the sleeves, I tried it on and I was like, oh, the neck is really, really high. I'm not really liking it. Like I'm not too certain. Maybe I'll fold it over. Then after I knit the sleeves and I got a couple inches into the body, I tried it on again and I was like, oh no, actually,
dang.
I don't need to fold this over. I think this is going to be great as it is, because it like opened up the shape of it and it like sat in a way that it was supposed to
Yeah.
against my neck.
And it makes a lot of sense because then like it's a raglan construction, so
Yes,
there's not a lot of pull on the shoulder.
No, you can.
But
I don't know
like-
if you'll be able to see it, but there are like lines on the shoulder.
Yeah, but just
That's
the
the
weight
length,
of the cuffs even
Is enough to open that up. Because before, when I had tried it on before I finished the sleeves, I was getting like puddling in the front and in the back.
Yeah.
Because there was too much fabric there. But then after I knit the sleeves and it opened up the shoulders, then that smoothed out. And
That's
it wasn't
so
an
interesting.
awkward fit anymore.
Yeah.
So now I think that's how I'm going to do it going forward.
And it's like a win-win situation because you also avoid Sleeve Island.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is not a great place to be. I should
Exactly.
know.
Just to round it out, this is yarn from Pigment and Ply, who's a dyer based in the UK. This is the color, I'm not going to be able to say the name correctly. I think it's pronounced like Feainnewedd.
Whoa.
It came from her Witcher collection in 2002.
Like The Witcher?
The Witcher, based on the books and the TV show, the Netflix TV show. And the colorway is based off of the flower named Feainnewedd, is my assumption of how it's pronounced, which is the flower that grows where elven blood is spilt.
Yeah, that's the flower that Cyrilla had to eat in the show.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So like
yeah.
it has a big
You've all seen The Witcher. Right?
it has a big plot device. Like the flower is a big plot device.
Okay.
And so that was one of the key colorways from her collection was this blue. And
I love it.
So Jessica at Pigment and Ply had a sample made for the shop of this exact sweater in this exact yarn combo because it's like sock yarn and mohair. And I saw it and I was like trying to reach through my phone. Like literally like, can I grab the sweater off of her through my phone? I could not.
But you
So
can
I
make
was
it.
like,
But you
I
can
will
make it.
spend an obscene amount of money and pay an obscene amount in customs so that I could make it myself almost 2 years later.
I mean, goals.
I love that you
so
didn't
fun.
forget though. I would have
No,
forgotten.
it's like it had been sitting there in my yarn stash, like, and I have a glass fronted cabinet that all my yarn is in, and I live in a studio, and it's pretty much like at the end of my bed, so I wake up
Yeah.
every morning and can see my yarn stash. This was intentional. And every day I'd wake up and I'd see it, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna knit that Paloma, one day. And then right before Christmas, I put a poll on my Instagram stories, and I was like, what should I make over the holidays?
Oh, I
and-
voted on this.
And this one won by a landslide.
It's because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to wear it. I can't wait. Like I said, I have like maybe 25 more rows for the body, and then I'll get into the ribbing, and
Yeah.
then I can wear it.
I've had
Yeah.
the
But I get a
from
lot
the-
of dye transfer when I
from
work
the
on it.
same
I work
wool
on it.
shop in Montreal, they have another pattern called the dove.
Oh, the turtle dove.
The turtle dove.
Yes.
Which I find hilarious because Paloma is just a dove in Spanish. And it's just slightly different fit, but a similar, like, style.
It doesn't have the twisted rib. I think that's the difference.
It doesn't, and it has, like, a bit deeper of a raglan
more of like a swan show.
Yeah, more of a swan show. And that one's been on my list forever, so... One day we'll all have bird-related sweaters. Probably all doves.
Oh, but it's so nice. I honestly, fingering weight yarn and mohair held together is my favorite combination.
Me too.
It makes the perfect drape.
Yeah, it does.
It is so
it's super
soft.
warm.
It's just like, it's everything.
And the mohair
like
doesn't pill. So even if you were holding like a more rustic wool in fingering weight together with the mohair, it's not gonna pill.
Yeah, no.
It's just perfect. Chef's kiss.
Like, you'll get mohair shed. Like, I have the 2 love notes that I've made have been fingering weight and mohair weight held together. And every once in a while, I'll like take off my outer jacket or like pull off my sweater, and on my t-shirt will be blobs of mohair.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, like, you don't notice it. Like, it doesn't clump the same way that wool will.
Yeah, and even if it does like lose a little bit of fluff, it's never going to like completely flatten.
No. Like, it will always be soft and squishy.
Yeah.
And the silk core of it is so good for the structure of the garment, because you're essentially making sure that you're not going to have awkward sagging or stretching out of the yarn, especially if you're working with the superwash.
Make a mohair sweater is all I'm saying.
Do it.
Make a mohair sweater.
10
Make
out of 10
everything.
would recommend.
10 out of 10
Recommend.
Yeah.
And
on this note, it is 3 o'clock.
It is 3 o'clock. We didn't even get, like, we only got one whip each. We shouldn't have brought 3.
Seriously.
That's
okay.
We were like ambitious.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna need to have like topics listed just in case we get through all of our projects real quick.
Yeah, like what if you run out of things to say?
We're never gonna run out of things to say, guys. Let's be real.
So maybe just to round out the episode, since it is the first one in the inaugural stream,
yes, it is.
Do we want to take a minute to just say what we're like? Why is this happening now? Like, why did we choose to do this? And I can tell you that for me, it's not so much that it was a New Year's resolution, because it wasn't. I purposely did not make any New Year's resolutions. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But it is something that the 3 of us have been talking about for literal years.
Yeah.
And I've never had the courage to be on the internet on my own. Because it's scary. Being on the internet is scary. My face is there, my body is there, my thoughts and opinions, whether they are correct or incorrect, are there, and that's sort of like really scary in terms of exposing yourself to the world.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So the fact that the 2 of you wanted to do this together is like super, like a bit of a safety net. So it feels a little bit better to embark on something together than to do it on my own. And so I think that for me, that is what gave me the push to like actually do the research and get it started and set it up. Because I feel like I do have things to say. And honestly, we do this all the time anyway. We might as well be recording it.
We might as well share this with the world.
Yeah. What about you?
Why did I want to do this? I like, kind of like you said, we already have such a good rapport and dynamic, and we're so chatty. And when people come to knit night in the past, they've been like, wow, I didn't expect it to be this fun. Like, I didn't expect it to be more than just knitting. Because when we're together on Thursday nights, like out in the world, we hit all sorts of topics, like current events, things in our lives, like experiences that we've had, places we've been. Like, we go all over the different kind of topics. And a lot of people have said that they've really enjoyed that aspect, because other groups that they've been in, the conversation has stuck just to knitting.
Okay.
And today, I guess we kind of were predominantly what we were making, but
which makes sense for first.
Yeah, for first. But a part of the reason I wanted to do this was because, like, we have such an incredible community here, and I see such an incredible community online, and how other people have built that online. Those friendships that like span continents and all sorts of things between dyers and makers and designers, and that's something that I want to be more of a part of. And
we want online friends.
And this
be our friends.
This feels like the right way to do it for like me personally as a human, because I don't want to be on my phone on social media all the time, but I think this is a good bridge to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to build up that community.
Carine, your opinion is, I think, the strong, like one of the most important to me, because you don't even have social media.
No, I don't.
You don't have.
Well, I mean,
any.
that's not true. I do, but not the big ones.
Do you have a YouTube account?
No. Well, I mean, I have an account, but I don't have any videos. Like, I watch YouTube, yeah.
Right, okay.
So, but I don't have Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I don't have
No
Facebook. I have none of those things. Mainly
Good for you.
because
You're not missing
I
out.
understand that if I were to have those things, I would literally die holding my phone. So I'm protecting myself because I know I would go down that rabbit hole and be like, this is fine. I'm okay here. Maybe one day I would, if I were to start, or if I were to get one, I think Instagram would be the one that I would get.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet, so we're gonna.
Which is fair.
But for this, I have to admit, like, the same thing as you said, where I would never have been able to do this by myself. So knowing that there are people that I love who are like, yeah, let's do it.
It's
like,
you.
yeah, like it makes it so much easier. And it's funny that you said, like, we kind of gave you the push, because I feel like you gave us the push.
Yeah.
By saying, like, it's
We're
happening.
just pushing each other.
You know, like, we all pushed each other, like, it's happening, guys.
That's definitely a friendship dynamic that we have, where we're each like, no, you first, no, you first, no,
and
you
then we
first.
all push.
But then we're all, like, falling over the cliff at the same time together, holding hands. Like, it's...
Okay, somebody draw us holding hands and jumping off a cliff.
While saying,
Somebody,
no,
yes.
you first, no, you first.
No, you go.
But
definitely.
what I think the other reason, genuinely, like, for me personally, that I think this is this is something I want to do, is that to catch on what you were saying, where you talked about the community online and here in Ottawa, we have so many wonderful local resources for knitters in Ottawa.
Yes.
And not just knitting, just local resources in general that Ottawa and the region have. And I feel like this would be a great platform to, like, give them a shout out and, like, be a bit more like, hey, like, this is a great place that's trying to do something, let's support them, so that we can also be a voice to support the local community around us and the local business owners around us. Because that's something that I feel like everybody should be doing. Yeah. Right? Where we tend to, like, you know, without going in a tangent, we are saying buy more local. So how about we support more local? So I feel like this is a nice little way to, like, do that to the best of our abilities anyway.
Should we bring some local makes next time?
Yes, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, because I did, like, last year have a bit of a running theme in anything I bought was either locally made or just Canadian made.
Mm-hmm.
So we could try to showcase.
Oh, I've got
local
actually
makes.
as a final. I can showcase one of those now.
Yeah, do it.
These are so washed out. These are so washed out. This is the most. Oh, there goes my phone. The most brilliant. It's still washed out. There's a yellow lamp behind the camera. But this is a sadly no longer dying vegan yarn dyer called Trailhead Yarns. Sam is, I think she lives out in Orleans.
She does, and is beautiful and wonderful.
Beautiful and wonderful. Has pivoted her business to focus more on, like, embroidery and embroidery threads. But last year at Knit City, where I kind of, like, fully disassociated and spent a lot of money on yarn.
Blacked out.
We had no idea what we were walking into.
I opened the backpack at the end of the day and was like, when did I buy that? But
I just saw my credit card bill and was like, putting it away.
That's so relatable.
But at Knit City last year, Sam of Trailhead Yarns had a booth, which one of our Knit Night buddies, Sherry, was helping to staff.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
We love you.
And she had in her booth a bunch of this yarn. So this is 100% Tencel. It's lace weight. For those who don't know, Tencel is extruded cellulose. It's made from waste from the wood and paper industry, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I purchased these last year with absolutely no plans for what I was going to do with them, just that I really like the color. Now I have plans, but maybe I'll wait and share them next week when hopefully I will have cast on.
Yes.
Oh, and
actually,
also,
you know what? That's a good idea because I have something that I can do the same. So yeah.
Yeah, I have some Tencel needles as well.
Oh,
and I love Tencel because Tencel's actually produced in a closed loop water cycle.
Yes,
so it's
it is.
actually also eco-friendly.
What?
We love a sustainable yarn.
Yeah, we do.
But
we should probably shut up for now.
Okay,
Yes.
we can keep going forever if we didn't.
We really could keep going, but let's try to give people their time back because we could literally just stay here for another 3 hours. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for just being there, for supporting us. And even if you were only there for 5 minutes, or even if you watch this afterwards, you're still there. So,
And for putting things in the comments. That's really sweet.
That is really sweet.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe if you have not already done so. That feels so cheesy to say.
I cannot believe you just said that.
But you know what? We
Hurts my
gotta.
damn heart. But yeah, like if you want to see us back here again, and let us know that you actually like us, please. We need the validation.
And if you don't
It's
like us,
fragile.
don't say anything because we're actually really sensitive.
Super
Seriously,
sensitive.
please
we
leave
will
us.
cry if you say something mean to us.
We are so fragile, though.
We are very fragile.
Once again, this is Purl Perspectives. We are Anahí, Carine, and Ali. Thank you for watching our hour-plus chat today.
We're gonna try to keep it at 1 hour next time, but no promises.
No
We'll see you
promises.
back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. We're gonna have to work on